Hi everybody. I thought we've got more time to hang out in our houses and keep busy. So I thought I do have something that I wanted to share because doesn't take a lot of drawing ability, and it certainly doesn't take any painting acumen. It's just almost like, oh, I don't know, like a puzzle. But it kind of goes from simple to complicated the more paint you put on. But I guess words are not as good as just showing you. This is what kind of a thing you'll end up with. A tree, but going deeper and deeper into the forest. There's one here you can see that I haven't gone as far with. It'll just keep getting deeper and deeper as you start getting smaller and smaller. So that being said, you do need, it's more fun to work small because it goes quicker. But just so I can show you what to do, I'm going to use this big piece of paper, put a little bit of tape there so that those edges of the tree. Now this is what I mean about just not really having to know a lot about drawing or painting. It's just coloring in like a puzzle. So with this really light pencil, I'm going to draw a trunk and some branches. Big branches. But this area right here is fun because we're going to just paint that in. And wouldn't you think that I would have some water laid out, but I don't. Okay, hit that. And as I said, you're going to pick out a mother color, a color that you want to start with. Let's just, for kicks, go with an orange color. And this we want to have so light because you could see in the one that I showed you, my sample, you go darker and darker, but just by a little bit. So this, I'm using this big fat brush at first, and I think I can use that for quite a bit. All right, it would be in a perfect world, it would dry at this point. So I'm going to help it along a little bit. Now, this next step is that we're going to make other branches come off of these branches, and let's just make it as simple as we possibly can. Let's take a big branch and create a big branch off of that one by just a little darker color. Like I said, if you have time at home, you could make yours. Give your time, give it time to dry. That's what I'm trying to say. So you know this next line has got to be, I've got to make this next line down there. And the only thing you're kind of trying to do is give this, you know, picture in your mind how a branch of a tree would branch off. There's swoops to the left or swoops to the right. Yeah, that's an awfully big branch, so it would have a pretty big branch coming off of it too. You should have some music on because this is, the words are in the words. We don't need words. All we need is paint. Where I'm putting the paint is called negative space. So I'm creating negative space behind each branch. Of course, the original pot. Oh, don't listen to me. Just do. Just have fun with this. God. Anyway. So there's going to be another branch coming off of that branch. And all I have to do is paint in more paint, and this negative space that's left is the branches. So this will really, really be good if I stopped right now and let it dry. So I will. I'll stop this little film, and then maybe I can splice them all together if I'm smart enough to do that. Okay, we're back, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to add in that, but so I'll stay away from there because it's not dry. But anyway, as I was doing that, I wanted to just tell you that, you know, you never change your color of your paint. It's not necessary that you keep it exactly right, but you always are using a lot of water with the color because it looks like it's darker paint, but that's just because it's got another, you know, another layer on top of it. Now this branch, I got up to here and I thought, I'll just take out another branch at that side. And so I'm going to do that with this too. I'm going to take a branch and just, you have to maybe think a little bit with this because there you go. I'm painting in those two spaces. So that's the branch, and that's going to allow me to go to there and put a triangular shape in there. That's the fun of it, is creating those branches as you go along. So let's just, I like to dip down. In this one you can see, in order for it to keep branching out, I've got to make it look like one of those live oak trees in the woods that send limbs down to the ground. I guess that's so the squirrels won't have to jump. Alright, so here's that same color. I'm going to go off it this way. I'm going to go off this way with it. With the branch. Still using this nice flat brush. Because the area, all right, so that branch now has to make sense and extend. Also, that being said, there's no such thing as a mistake because as this thing gets deeper and deeper into the woods, you would never know if a branch started and stopped in an irregular way. All right, so here we go. So that branch is coming off like this. Show. Make it go down to the ground. in order for it to flow, it does have to do this irregular thing of a live oak tree or a weeping tree in which branches go from the trunk to the ground. All right, I'm going to keep this kind of light because when that dries, I'm going to, I'm already picturing I'm going to take a branch off of this way, branch off of this way. Okay, see this branch right there? That could be another little tree. When I look at that, I think, that's another little tree behind this tree. So I'll just make that happen. Have to let that dry, and then I can maybe extend it down there, but maybe it'll just be invisible. Maybe it's just gonna hang there for a while. All right, here's a nice area so that I can show you what I'm gonna do with another branch coming off of this branch. Ooh, see, that's a problem when you get too dark with your paint, because then you really don't have any place to go but darker. So you try to keep that paint just in the same density. All right, let me see how that feels. It feels good. So I can put another branch off of that one. You see, when I say puzzle, it really does get puzzle-like. And the beauty of that too is that that branch is going to come off of this bottom area here and twist around in there. All right, I have to stop and let things dry again. Hey everybody, back dried, have done some things. Just want to point out, because this is something about these little tree branches and everything. Sometimes you make the decision, and then sometimes you see something and it makes the decision for you. Just like when I added that branch, and I thought, that looks like it would be so big that it might be another tree. So I was able to put in another shade darker here. And then I said too, well, I was talking about that all of this has to come down. That's nice that those branches do bow down. But I did this one so that, again, it could be a further branch off of this same oak, or it could be something else. You can see that you could do this on this side. Now, at this point, too, you can go to a smaller brush, and you can see that that's going to be easier as you go along. And it might not be a bad idea, to get a bigger piece of watercolor paper than my tiny ones are. But so I've got this other, like I said, the composition will lead you as to where to put those branches, and you sometimes can lead it, but sometimes it's saying, look, I gotta go, it's gonna look better to go this way. That's what the fun of this thing is. And especially when you get really tiny. Let's try to I think that I've really shown you enough to get going on something like this and do your own. But I want to get a drier part, so let me just pick this smaller part here. Because if I do this in this smaller part, I want to get but so dark. Now I'm using a very small brush. This is too really wet to work with. So I'm just going to, because you see, I'd like to take and make a lot of other branches off of these. So I have to wait till that dries and then do that. But I really think that from here on that you could make your own thing happen. Good luck, and let me know. Post your pieces to me or send them to me by email, whatever, and let me see what you've come up with. Bye.